Hey folks, welcome back to the shop. What's in the haul day? Or what's in the box? What's in the box? We're gonna find out what's in the haul too. But anyway, Nobel Sport, 1 ounce load, 2 3/4 inch, 7.5 shot. Velocity's listed at 12. Well, actually on this box, the velocity's not listed. This is an old box. I've had this probably, I don't know, I've probably had it 4 or 5 years, and who knows how old it was when I got it. I think I got it at a pawn shop. But anyway, the model on this, it's still available. I just looked up online and they actually still make this round. It is a ANSH 2875. That's the model number. And surprisingly, not terribly expensive, you know, if you can find it. I found it in a few places for, I think about $13 was the cheapest, but obviously you got to put shipping and stuff like that in there. But, you know, $14, $15, $16 a box landed to your house. I mean, that's not terribly bad, you know, in today's market, especially for a 1 ounce load. You know, some people frown on the 1 ounce 28 gauge load. I don't. I mean, it might be a little much. If you start moving it, you know, into higher velocities, your recoil is going to come up. And that might be something I start to do with these what's in the box, and even reloads is maybe some recoil calculations. I know that sounds kind of crazy with 28 gauge, but when you get into the heavier than lead stuff, anything in that 7/8 ounce and above range, and you start pushing it, you know, the recoil numbers are going to come up. They're going to be a lot higher than your 3/4 ounce target load. And that kind of plays into, you know, the guns we shoot are pretty lightweight. So it may surprise some folks to know that, you know, that 1 ounce duplex that you're pushing at 1,300 feet per second, and that 5-pound gun has got about the same recoil as maybe a 12 gauge, you know, target load or something like that. But anyway, it's kind of interesting. So what I'm going to do is get you over here on this side of the shop or bench, and we'll break this load down. Let me give you some velocity numbers that I came up with. I did run this through my pressure trace. I know it's factory ammo, but I just like to, you know, the more data that anybody can have, the better off it is. So the average velocity at 4 feet from the barrel was 1,162 feet per second. If you do a correction on that, the muzzle velocity that I came up with is 11,099 or 1,199 feet per second, which is 1 foot per second off from what the box says that they'll do if you get the updated box. The velocity was very stable. The extreme spread was 75 feet per second. The high was 1203, the low was 1128. So pretty consistent on the velocity. My pressure trace showed this as an average of 11,382 PSI. Again, it's just a reference, but 11,382, hey, they're, you know, good to go. So I may blip this up on the screen somewhere so everybody can take a look at that. So let's get over here, take a look at this. Also, I've got patterns that I shot with this gun, with this load. Pretty interesting. I shot at 40 yards. Again, an ounce load, 7.5, definitely lethal at 40 yards for whatever type of rabbit upland game you're going to be hunting, crow, whatever. So we'll take a look at those patterns, and all right, let's go break this thing down. Okay, so this is the box. Got 28 gauge, 2 3/4. It says Nobel plastic wad. We'll see what that is. Max Dram. not really concerned with that. 1 ounce, 7.5 shots. So open them up. Got you a nice little Nobel Sport hull marked hunting, 28 gauge, 1 ounce, 2 3/4 inch. It's got a, classic European crimp with the machine, gate type crimp. I'm sure this thing feeds beautifully in semi-automatics. So let's get him apart here. All right. So we got the scale here. Looks like a hull full of shot, that's for sure. So let's dump this out and see what the weight is. $430.7 grains. So about 7 grains short from a full ounce. I'm coming to find this on more and more factory ammunition. You don't, you're never going to get an overcharge that I've seen. Usually it's very, very close to the actual listed amount, to sometimes, up to 10 grains less. But anyway, I guess, we could expect that from commercial ammunition. Let's get this on the plate. Let's just look at this shot. Nice, uniform. Looks like it's coated shot. Don't see any anomalies. It looks like a broken piece right there. You see that? Yeah, looks like, I guess it was probably in the, they have machines that stop this shot. Now here we go. We do have 2 that are fused together. I don't know if you guys can see that. But again, so, just in the 15 seconds that we eyeball this, we got a couple of little stray things. And, again, uniformity, it's nice and round. I don't have a way to test hardness right now. I do have a caliper though. Let's see how big a piece of this shot is, just to get an idea. So yeah, it's pretty much right there at 7.5. I was just curious because, some of this European shot comes in different sizes versus, their 7.5 may not exactly be our 7.5. So that's really all I was looking at. Kind of a pain in the butt here. 093, 094, still holding on. So 095, I mean, it looks like it's dead on 7.5 American for me. So let's see what kind of wad we're working with here. I broke the legs off of him, folks. I don't want to lose that powder. All right, so this is the wad. It obviously was a one piece, and I broke the legs off of it. But I'm sure this is a Nobel Sport. I don't even see any markings on this. There you go. It's made similar to a Winchester 28, the HS 1 ounce wad with the 2 crushed pedals on each side. So a little bit different. It's got 4 slits. right? And it does have a little protective rib. I don't know. I mean, I've never seen this wad available to a reloader. Who knows? Let's see how much powder's in this thing. All right. .2. I always like to go down. Sometimes this stuff will stick in the primer. So didn't get a ton more out, but 20.3, and it's just a tiny ball type powder. Again, I mean, yes, I have many ideas of what this actually looks like, but again, I'm not going to speculate what this is. But 20.4 grains of this powder to move this load to 1,200 feet per second with a double-legged cushion wad right here. All right, so let's go pattern this joker. Went out to the farm. I think I may have some footage of this stuff actually hitting the pattern board. And hopefully it all turns out. So we'll see you guys out there shooting some patterns. Cylinder choke. Nobel Sport, 1 ounce, 7.5, 40 yards, improved cylinder choke. Nobel Sport, 40 yards, 7.5, 1 ounce, modified choke. Nobel Sport, improved modified, 40 yards, number 7.5, 1 ounce a shot. Nobel Sport, 40 yards, 7.5 shot, 1 ounce, full choke. All right, pattern review time. I tell you, this is becoming some of my favorite parts of these videos because, yes, I walk up on the pattern after I shoot it, then I sit down at the table and I mark it up, and then I put the circle on, all this kind of stuff. But I don't really look at it until, well, right now. So I'm kind of seeing it the first time as you are. So again, these were all at 40 yards. The patterns were shot out of the Super Black Eagle 3 28 gauge. All the chokes were the factory chokes that come with that gun. There are 2 extended chokes in that gun. One is improved cylinder and one is modified. All the other chokes are just factory flush chokes. So hopefully I'd like to upgrade those at some point. But anyway, this is cylinder choke. Yeah, you guys are probably saying, man, just shut up and tell us what this is. I have already looked at this pattern and figured out, man, that doesn't look that great. Well, you're right. This is cylinder choke at 40 yards. I may not even shoot cylinder at 40 anymore. I may use cylinder, at a max of 30, just to, unless you guys want me to keep doing the cylinder at 40. I mean, there's a pattern there. It is a blown open big pattern. One thing I can say is if you're shooting cylinder choke or if you had a cylinder choke in your gun, shooting skeet and you forgot the chains and you're out shooting at a rabbit at 40 yards, good luck. So let's look at improved cylinder. All right, improved cylinder is getting better, Got a few little splotchy spots here and there. Don't really see a core. I mean, you know, there's a lot of shot over here. By the way, there's about 344 pellets supposedly in a 1 ounce load of 7.5. My last pattern had 163. So just about half of them. This one's got 223. Now that's not 223 in the circle. That's just what has hit this 40 by 40 inch piece of paper. Not a great pattern, but it's obviously better than the cylinder choke. So let's take a look at modified. All right, modified. Now keep in mind, that improved cylinder choke a minute ago was an extended choke. This modified is an extended choke. Look at there, 277 pellets on the paper. Holy moly, that looks really good. You know, I mean, if you want to pick this apart, there is a few little open spots, but I mean, in reality, that's really good. I don't know of a rabbit, a freaking, you know, pheasant, big dove, a Eurasian crow. I mean, could you imagine busting a crow with that number 7.5 shot? He'd be gone at 40 yards. So let's take a look at improved modified. All right. So more choke sometimes is not better. It's very interesting when we take a look at these. You know, 247 pellets. We lost 30 pellets somewhere. And to me, that just doesn't make sense. But not only did we lose pellets, look at the difference in this pattern and that pattern that we just looked at. Sometimes it's just mind-boggling. I mean, obviously there's a lot of shot outside, but this is with improved modified. The extended choke, I mean, even though it's one choke below it, it wins that game. So let's take a look at full. Okay, full choke. Man, it looks a whole lot like improved modified. I may needed to move this pattern circle over this way a little bit, but I mean, you know, the reason I didn't is there's just a big hole here, and from here over, it's pretty empty. So I just was trying to fill that thing up. Not really impressed with full choke in that load. It kind of goes against what, you know, everybody would tell you, but man, that modified, even though it is extended, it is so much of a better pattern. So anyway, very interesting. Let's go back to the bench. We'll finish up with this and let y'all go. Man, what did y'all think about those patterns? I love doing these videos on the patterning. I think I could just do videos on patterning. I don't know if anybody would watch them, but it's fun to do them because of the results that come out. I mean, I'm surprised every time. I'm surprised at what improved cylinder will do. I mean, I've shot it for years at ducks. Matter of fact, there was a time in my life where I thought improved cylinder was the only choke ever. And it wasn't going to nothing be better than it ever. So, you know, I'm coming around. You know, of course, back then, that's when, you know, you threw a choke in your gun and you just went hunting. And if you had a great day, then that equipment was the best you've ever had, you know. But anyway, this is I'm going to say this is a Chetite hull. It doesn't say it anywhere, but I'm going to go out on a limb and say it is. With that being the case, reloadability of the Nobel Sport hulls is really good. They don't have quite the volume that a Fiocchi has, but there's lots of data out there for you know, well, a lot of stuff, heavier than lead, uh, bismuth, and that kind of thing. And you get a good amount of reloads out of these. I don't know why uh, the European hulls, uh, well, Cheddite and Fiocchi, that's about the only two that I know of out there. But man, when I got into this whole reloading 28 gauge stuff years ago, it was amazing how you would go online and everybody would say, oh, the European hulls are trash. Matter of fact, they were basically phrased Euro trash. Uh, I mean, you can go on to the forums and see it right now. Posts from 2008 talking about Euro trash hulls, and maybe back then maybe they weren't that great, But what I know for a fact is the hulls that I've been reloading and the hulls that I've been shooting for the last 10 years are actually lasting a good while. I'm not going to say they're better than a double A HS 28 gauge hull, but trust me, if I find one at the range, I'm picking it up and everyone beside it. So, because you can get 3, 4, 5 good reloads out of them. Some of it maybe depending on the powder and the load and kind of stuff like there. But anyway, they're reloadable, so they're very desirable. On the expense side, when you can pick up a box of factory shells for, less than $15 in today's market, again, this is March the 2nd of 23, that's pretty good. I don't know if prices will come down. Sometimes I almost feel like they have to, but then again, maybe they're at that flat spot where they're going to be for the next, big price increase, whenever that is, 5 years, 10 years, 15, who knows. But anyway, pretty interesting results. Modified choke, man, that thing won by a landslide on this particular shell. Now, in your guns, maybe a different story. I didn't shoot this out of the Yield Is. I didn't shoot it out of the Pointer. Didn't shoot it out of the Stoker. I didn't shoot it out of any of my other guns. So I don't know what they're going to look like out of those guns. I'm sure it's going to look different. But one thing that I'm really, really starting to notice is these extended chokes, for whatever reason, man, they put out really good patterns. Really good patterns. But anyway, hope you guys liked it. I've got a bunch of other shells that I've had laying around that I think I'm probably going to do what's in the box type stuff with. I've got some Rio ammunition. I've got number 6, number 7.5. I've got some Keeman. I recently got some Boss ammunition. Really excited to pattern that stuff and just see what it's got going. I mean, I think we're all interested in what's this stuff made out of. I've got some Rio 410 hulls. I've got some older Remington hulls, and again, I'm sure the recipes haven't changed and all that stuff. But anyway, those are some things that I have. If y'all would like to see more what's in the box patterning videos, let me know. Otherwise, hit that like button, subscribe. I'm really not concerned about the like, it just drives the metrics, but the subscription is that's important. Subscribe. A lot of people that watch these videos, they are not subscribers. It would be great if you like the content and you want to see more of it, go ahead and subscribe. There's a little bell. If you click on that bell, when you open up YouTube, it'll have a little highlight that says, hey, Bullet 225HO just loaded another video. If you want to go look at it, there it is. But anyway, it's kind of neat doing that. But y'all have a good one. And man, we'll see you next time when we're working on something new and different. Thanks. Bye.